Hey family, what is up? Today is a Sunday and we are home from church and everybody's had some lunch and I am going to go out here and tackle this garden. It has gotten way out of control. First it was, yeah, I'm going to run out there and do it. Oh, maybe tomorrow or maybe next week or maybe Friday. And I think it's probably been 3 weeks. So at this point, the grass is up to my waist. But have no fear. I'm sure you all can sympathize with this. We've all planted the garden and it has gotten way out of control and you're like, oh, forget it. Just forget it. And I thought I was at that point where I was just going to go out there and harvest what I could, grab tomatoes, work my way through the grass, kind of stomp it down with my feet. And I've obviously realized that the grass and the weeds and everything are choking out my plants. So I want to try to save as much as I can. So I've gone through and ripped out everything that has gone to seed. So basically all my brassicas that I planted, they didn't do very well this year. And of course, my broccoli and everything went to seed before I could even get broccoli. So I went ahead and ripped all of that stuff out. The beans are doing great. The okra is doing great. The tomatoes are, okay. The peppers are struggling. So I am going to go through today and tie up everything that I can. I'm going to run my lawnmower through it and my weed whacker, and I am going to make an attempt to try to claim this garden back. It won't be perfect. I am not going to go through and hand weed all the grass. That I have decided was just kind of a waste of time. It had gotten too far ahead of me for me to go in and hand weed. So I'm going to basically just kind of knock it all down. I don't have that much time until our first frost, which is at the end of October. So I am basically going to clear out what I can just to continue harvesting what is in there. And then, of course, the back garden is doing great. And we've got baby pumpkins and butternut squash. So that garden is doing great. The grass back there is getting tall as well. What is kind of planted in and around the corn and the watermelon and stuff, it is harder for us to get in there and pull that stuff out without stepping on the plants. So, we'll make plans for next year to allow a little bit more space. But I am going to go out here and tackle this garden. So as you can see, the grass has taken over. You can see how tall everything is. I need to come through and of course trim the zinnias back, and everything is looking rough, but it's still going. The peppers are slowly producing, but let's wade on through here. This has been the only aisle I've been able to really keep clear. And then by the time I get to this point, it's just too much. And of course, this is tremendously overgrown. I have pepper plants in here, but I also have my okra way back here. And the grass is as tall as the okra. So we are going to get through here today. So a lot of what I will be doing is just trying to just help the garden here. Getting my green beans to attach themselves without breaking them. That's the hard part for me, is doing this without breaking them, but they will vine up. They have produced tons and tons of beans, but of course, like this one's dry. And my girls love this. They love that they can get in here and look at this stuff, and they're like, "Oh, Mom, these are real beans." But this one's gone a little too far. You want to get them when they're young. And these are basically stir-fry beans. These are nothing that I would can, but they're tasty. I don't think I will do this variety again because obviously I want something I can put up. But I wish I could have convinced one of the girls to come out and be my little video helper. So let me wade back through this grass. My little zinnias, they're still doing good. They need a haircut. We've gotten some good tomatoes. I got a green tomato that I was pulling back tomatoes. One broke. Garden B is doing great. We did come through and rip some plants out and burn them. We got quite a few squash bugs. So in these empty spots, we had yellow squash, and they are gone. As you can see, squash bugs. I don't know if you can see that. I really do like yellow squash. I got squash bug, egg, 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 squash bug, eggs. So I am done. At this point, I am done harvesting squash. So they don't seem to care too much for the zucchini. I'm going to rip out the squash plant, this yellow squash plant, and chuck it in the fire and just be done with it. I don't even want to fight with them. I want to save my butternut squash and pumpkin that we have growing. And we are going to go ahead and harvest our spaghetti squash. It is looking really good. We've been kind of letting them harden up on the vine. Got plenty of them. And we keep testing them. We keep trying to push our thumbnail through them, and they seem to be pretty firm. So, oh, let me get under my line. Watermelon! But they seem to be ready to go ahead and just pull. Though, we've got some new ones. We thought the plant was done, that it was dying. But we got a few new ones, which is cool. A gigantic watermelon. We pulled one the other day and it wasn't quite ready yet. Still tasted good though. Everything needs a good water, which we'll do later tonight. There's another good watermelon. They're kind of hidden in all the grass that we got growing. And the vines have grown out into our yard. So we will plan differently for next year. But let me know if you can see our hidden watermelons. They are throughout this patch. I've got some corn that's going. And we have been pulling cantaloupe off to finally eat. It tastes wonderful. See if I can find one in here to show you. There's one down here. So we're waiting for these to close up. Once these close up, it's ready to pull. So Joe's going to come out and pull all these. And they taste wonderful. They are so sweet. And then he has got some purple beans in here. They took forever to grow, so I'm not sure how much we're going to get off of those. But his tomatoes, I don't touch his tomatoes. These are his to do. He caged them the other night, but look at this guy. Isn't he huge? Oh, we got a good yellow one down there. I think I might go ahead and grab him while I'm out here. If you don't get them, the critters will. So, look at him. I've been really enjoying these yellow tomatoes. So, I'm going to go ahead and run these tomatoes in that I picked and get my weed whacker out and lawnmower and have at it. you can see, now that made a whole lot of difference. Yes, of course, there's still grass, and it looks like I missed the majority of my plants, which is great, but oh, you can walk through here, and I will try to come through here and weed around the plants now, give them a chance to survive, and maybe drop a little bit of mulch in here that I have left over. I don't have a whole lot, but I may have enough. So much better. I could not get down the okra row here, but hey, if anybody knows why okra does this, can you let me know? I have some that have kind of curled. Let me get inside here, and I'm covered in grass. Oh, safety tips. Make sure you always weed whack in tennis shoes and jeans and have eye protection on. Do as I say, don't do as I do. But whew, I'm hot. So I really wanted to sit down and show you guys the garden and see that even when your garden gets gnats, even when your garden gets out of control, because it's going to happen. It happens to all of us. Even the most seasoned gardeners, it's going to happen. Life happens, things happen, and you don't get out there to weed, and the next thing you know, the weeds are up to your ankle, and then your knee, and then your waist. Hopefully you don't let it get that far. But we had a few really good days of rain, and the garden just boomed, and rain just does that, and it got out of control. And then I had sick kids, and then I got sick. And then, of course, you're canning and processing all the harvest and stuff that you're bringing in. And I'm like, holy cow. It just got out of control super fast. So I wanted to show you guys that you can reclaim it. You can, you can't start over until the next season, but you can reclaim what you have already started. Don't let it defeat you. And don't look at all the pictures online. Don't look at all the pictures on social media and everybody with their beautiful, perfect gardens. You don't know what kind of life they're living. You don't know, truly how big is that garden, how much they have obtained it, if the pictures are real. So don't compare your garden to somebody else's on social media. This is life. This is real life. You get busy. Kids get busy. You're a mom. Your family comes first. I will always place them before my garden. Things happen. You have a few bumps in the road, and the next thing you know, the grass is up to your waist. But you can reclaim it. Set some time aside. Get the family to help. Go out there. Pull weeds. Use the weed whacker. Run the lawnmower through it if you can. I know that they sell these tiny little garden lawnmowers that you can run through really skinny aisles. Of course, I would never tell anybody go out and buy stuff just so you could mow your garden down. But if you want to do that, go do it. I'm going to try to run my lawnmower through there. Now, I'm not afraid to hit a plant. I've gotten a lot of harvest out of these plants, and they are at their end days. So if I hit a plant and take one out, I guess we're eating fried green tomatoes. Those poor, pitiful things. If I hit one of my okra plants, I got 6 others. And, I will be cautious when doing it. Accidents happen. It could happen. I don't know. But if I hit a plant, it's okay. If I take out one of my... what do I have planted out there? Zinnias and my marigolds. If I hit one of my marigolds, that's okay. I have dumped tons of seeds on the ground. So as I'm going through and I'm deadheading them, you can take them as they dried out and just roll them through your hands. And the seeds will come out and sprinkle. And I'm going to have marigolds forever out there. Forever. I've already lost one plant to a cutterworm or a vine borer or whatever it was. It like hacked my plant in half. And sure enough, as I'm pulling this plant out that this caterpillar is eaten, a new one is growing up. So I have a whole new plant out there where that plant was destroyed. I will have marigolds forever. I don't know if the zinnia seeds will survive the frost, but hey, that's okay. We'll get new ones next year. And I have really enjoyed these. So I'm actually going to get ready to go out there and I am going to pick as many or cut as many of my zinnia flowers that are viable and really cut back the plants because they are looking a little harsh. Yeah. Definitely. And then tonight, everything is getting a good water. I'm going to go through there and kind of fertilize things a little bit to kind of help the plants along. They are struggling because they are competing with nutrition or competing for nutrition with the grass and the weeds and everything else that is growing out there. I've got purslane out there and ragweed and Bermuda grass. You know, we moved from Florida. I never thought I would have to deal with it up here in Kentucky. We called it centipede grass, I do believe. Maybe that's not quite what we have out there. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I also have hay growing out here because there's a hay field right behind my house, right behind it. And, you know, I'm not going to complain, but it blows over into my yard, you know, the seeds, and it's in my garden and they are thick. And when you hit them with a weed whacker, when they get so tall, it wraps around the head of the weed whacker and kind of hangs on to it. So that's okay. We're making progress and we're planning for fall and we are so excited to put in the fall garden and then next year's spring garden. I've already ordered seeds. I'll show you guys that as soon as we get out of fall and we're heading into winter. We can sit down and think about the days of spring to come. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today on my journey. It was a messy one. I am covered in grass and will probably sneeze for the rest of the day. But I am so happy that you got to join me today. And as always, guys, I bless you on your journeys.